Good morning, Advertising 3 students. I hope you had an amazing Easter weekend, and I also hope you are enjoying your Easter Monday, today being a public holiday. So that's why we are not on campus. As you know, we should be having a lesson today in room 1, if not mistaken. So I have pre-recorded this lesson for you, and hopefully you are going to find this lesson in good spirits, because some of you might be having some hangover, ipapalazi. Some of you maybe are still traveling, or some of you are exhausted from traveling or from activities that you had during the weekend. Maybe some of you were dancing at church, or some of you are having family gatherings and all those activities that happen during Easter holidays. So I hope you're going to find this lesson in good spirits. Remember, tomorrow morning, Tuesday, we are meeting in class. So everything will be going back to normal tomorrow. And hopefully, I'm going to have students in class tomorrow at 8:15. I've got a huge challenge with advertising students, especially attendance on Tuesdays. So I hope you guys are going to attend lessons tomorrow morning. Before I get to lesson 37, which is merely a revision of lesson 25, I'd like to appeal to students again that by now you should be able to have access to core campus. So each and every individual in my class by now should be able to log in to core campus. So I hope you guys have got updated login details to core campus and you are able to access core campus. The reason why I'm raising this is because we are coming closer to the F1 submission, and that submission is done on core campus. There's been changes this year on how students and staff members at Boston Media House access core campus, and many students were struggling to log into core campus. So I'm hoping that by now everyone is able to do so. Do not wait until the submission week or until the last day of the submission, only to realize that you cannot access core campus, because as a result, you are going to struggle to submit your F1 assignment. So please, I'm appealing to students that you need to make sure you are able to submit the F1. Okay. I know there are some people always procrastinate and want to submit the assignment on a Friday in the evening because that's the last day for submission. So imagine you have been relaxing all along, not even knowing how to log into core campus. Then on Friday in the evening, when the school is closed on Friday at around 9, 3 hours before the deadline, you want to submit the assignment only to realize that you can't access core campus. Then all of a sudden you're bombarding me with messages or say I can't submit my assignment. I mean, there's nothing that I can help with because during that hour, there won't be anyone who can assist you. So as a result, you are going to miss out on submitting the F1 assignment and you are going to get a 0 because you've been told in advance. Communication has been sent out to students with regards to core campus access. So unfortunately, if you are going to struggle to submit your F1 assignment, you are going to get a 0. You have to have the issue fixed, then you're going to do a sub. And you guys are in your final year. You cannot afford to get a 0 in your final year. Otherwise, it minimizes the chances of you graduating. So please try by all means to be up to date with your schoolwork, especially from an administrative point of view. And also with attendance, guys, I've always mentioned this. I know there are many students who barely come to class. This also minimizes your chances of graduating because you're missing out a lot on things that we discuss in class. And I know most people think that they can pass this subject without coming to class at all because they can always Google the questions provided in the assignment. They can always Google them to get answers. They can always use AI. They can always use other available tools. They can always plagiarize and collude. Apart from those practices being academically unethical, trust me, I know, especially with my experience of being a lecturer, I know when I'm marking something that is not based on the student's natural cognition. I know the things that we have discussed in class. And it's easy for me to pick up things that you got from Google, things that you got from ChatGPT, from DeepSeek, from Grok, and all other available tools out there. So please attend classes as more often. And when you are doing the assignment, make sure that you comprehend, you understand what is it that you are required to do, rather than just taking the question and send it to Google. Google does not filter out content whether to know whether this content is from an expert or not. Anyone can be an expert on Google. There are so many blogs, so many websites that talk about advertising, yet it's not from reliable and legitimate sources. It's not from someone with qualifications in advertising. So please desist from that. Anyway, with everything being said, we now move on to lesson 37. I pre-recorded lesson 36 and I've already shared the link in the WhatsApp groups for those who are in the WhatsApp group. As I'm aware that there are some students, ghost students who have never pitched at all, and some are not even on the WhatsApp group. These lessons are also going to be uploaded on Core Campus to cater for those who are not in the WhatsApp group or those who do not have compatible devices to get slides, PowerPoint slides from mobile phones from WhatsApp. So as you know, we've covered a lot since the beginning of the year. And most of the things that we have been unpacking, it has been from a theoretical perspective. So by now, you know the theories of branding, theories of a logo, a brand name, packaging, and so forth. Because these theories have got an impact on how products are advertised, how products are communicated to the market, how customers and the audience interpret the message that they get from the brands. So branding plays a huge role in IMC, particularly in advertising. It plays a huge role. If people cannot recognize the name of the brand, if people cannot recognize the logo of a brand, if people cannot recognize how a brand is packaged and labeled, how are they going to interact with the message, which is an advert? And how are they going to buy, to like the product and buy it, if they cannot associate the brand and the logo and the packaging of that product. So that's what we have been talking about throughout the past weeks. And now we continue with the isikhumba accessories. That's the case study that we have been focusing on. Because this is a new week, and some might have forgotten about the study, I am going to read through it once more to just remind students where we are and who isikhumba is. So allow me to do so. Isikhumba Accessories started in Soli's backyard in a township in Limpopo. Soli initially started making accessories like handbags, wallets, and belts from leftover animal skins or hides he collected after traditional slaughters at weddings and festivals in the township. He would buy the skins or hides from friends and family and put them through the tanning process, which includes soaking, liming, removing external tissues such as dehairing, scarring, and fleshing, deliming, batting or peeling, drenching, and pickling. He created the handbags, wallets, and belts from the leather and started selling them to people in and around his house. After doing this for 6 months, he noticed that there was a real demand for his products as people were coming from far away to buy his accessories. Soli formed partnership with butchers in the township that provided him with discarded skins or hides at a discounted rate. Word of isikhumba Accessories' great success spread through the township, and the community quickly came together to support Soli for buying his accessories and referring others to him. Clothing stores and curio shops in the area started selling isikhumba accessories, and within 18 months, the brand has become a household name in Limpopo. Soli formed partnership with souvenir and curio shops at rest stops along the N1 highway, and soon isikhumba Accessories was noticed by various international tourists and executives traveling the country. In his second year of production, Soli received an offer from an overseas chain store to export and stock his leather accessories in the UK and various countries across Europe. Soli viewed this as a unique opportunity and the break he was waiting for. Instead of embarking on a joint venture with an international business, he decided to export and distribute his leather accessories using his knowledge and skills. Exporting to different countries brought unique challenges, and Soli had to make various decisions about legislation, cultural differences, politics and policies, distributing requirements, costing and budgeting, and how all these factors would influence the packaging and labeling he used. Currently, isikhumba accessories can be found locally at curio shops and in selected outlets in England, Germany, and Sweden. So this is what we have been discussing since the beginning of the week, last week. And all lessons up to lesson 42, we are going to be applying the theories that we learned in class. We are going to apply them to isikhumba, because for isikhumba to be known both locally and in the mentioned European countries, it has to be visible. People need to know about the product, about the name, about the logo, about the packaging, so that whenever isikhumba is being advertised, either through by the brand itself or by its distributors or its intermediaries, customers need to resonate with the product. So it is crucial that we understand the packaging concept of isikhumba. Remember, in the previous lessons, when you're talking about the packaging theory, there are so many issues that isikhumba need to consider from an environmental point of view, from a legislation point of view, from a cultural point of view, from an economic point of view, from a technological point of view, and so forth. So we are actually using a pastel approach packaging here because the regions in which isikhumba is going to be serving, those regions may have different regulations. You do not expect Europe to have the same trading laws with Africa or South Africa, where isikhumba originates from. There are packaging laws that needs to be navigated, such as the use of environmental friendly products. You know, can you package the items in plastic, for example? Some countries are actually regulating the use of plastic because they feel like plastic is damaging the environment, polluting the land and the sea. So you need to understand all those things. As we discussed in class, plastic does not dissolve in water, for example, compared to paper. So all those things isikhumba needs to understand. Also need to understand the design elements, the colors that can be used. The wrapping, how is it going to, how are the isikhumba products going to be packaged, to be designed, to be wrapped? Are you going to use boxes or gift bags, for example? And since you are operating overseas, how are you going to ship these products to Europe? Because you want to ship them in a way that they are not damaged. Maybe you might even use bubble wraps. So how exactly is it going to be done? Especially from a branding point of view, so that the message is consistent with the brand and the packaging, between the brand and the packaging. So the design element should incorporate the primary purpose of packaging. We discussed this. What is the primary purpose of packaging? This is very crucial. We discussed that one of the primary purposes of packaging is for storage. So some products, when you are distributing them, you need to make sure that they are kept intact. For example, you do not want the handbag to be damaged. So you need a proper sealable container or wrap or whatever that you want to use, so that that handbag or that leather or that wallet reaches the end user intact without any damages, without any scratches. So you need to understand that from a storage point of view. And also from a branding point of view. Remember, guys, branding is not only about the logos and the colors and the brand name. It is also about how you do things. The way you wrap your products says a lot about you. I always tell students that the way you pack your clothes in your wardrobe or wherever you keep your clothes says a lot about you. The way you leave your bed in the morning when coming to school, it says a lot about you. It leaves a signature of who you are, which is branding. So, for example, if things are always scattered in your room and you leave them like that whenever you're looking for something to wear, Like you're looking for that favorite t-shirt of yours or favorite pair of shoes. And whenever you are taking out that pair of shoes, you then leave everything scattered all over until you come back from wherever you are going. That says something about you, whether it is a good thing or it is a bad thing. It is the same thing with brands. The way they keep their products, the way they store them, the way they wrap them, it says a lot about them. I remember there was this brand, I just forgot its name. Whenever it was doing its shipping, it had handwritten notes from its staff members. So when you buy from them, they don't use a computer or anything. They would write with their hands for authenticity, you know, putting personal messages. They like personalizing the message to you. Or if it's your birthday or your anniversary of having a relationship with them, they would send you a handwritten note on your package to show the care and the time they took to write whatever information they were writing on your package. So it is their signature, it is their mark, it is how they do things, it is how they wrap things. Also, we have seen this with Takealot. No matter what or how big the box is, Takealot always bring items in boxes. I've never received something from Takealot without being put in a box. I can't remember of one. Even something that would originally not need a box, Takealot would put it in the box, in a Takealot branded box. So it is now their signature that they use boxes. Woolworths does not use any plastics. It is their signature that they do so. Chicken Licken, in their packaging, they use those orange plastic bags compared to what KFC does. They use those paper gift bags. So that's packaging associated with branding. So that's how you differentiate a brand from its competitors and so forth. And also you need to understand the areas in which you are serving. From a cultural point of view, most Western societies use paper storage compared to plastic storage. So if you are to be serving in Europe, you need to understand that. And it does not end with the packaging. What about the maintenance of your product? Because it is leather. Leather needs maintenance. So how you package that leather, you need to make sure that the products have got exposure or non-exposure to moisture. Some would require moisture, like you'd need to let air in so that they do not get damaged or they do not have those fungal build up on it because it's leather. Remember, this is from an animal skin. So it's something that you need to understand whether it will require air to breathe or it will have to be sealed so that there's no any oxygen getting in. So it's also crucial to understand your product when you are packaging it because some product won't need any access to water or access to the sun or weather conditions that could impact its longevity. So it's also crucial to understand the kind of the product that you are wrapping or packaging, whether it needs access to air or it does not need access to air. So all these elements are crucial for isikhumba accessories. And as much as you are sending out this to consumers, you also need to understand how these products are going to be disposed of once the consumers are done with them. Can they easily throw them in the bin? Will they need recycling? Are they going to dissolve on earth once they've been discarded? Or are they going to cause any environmental damages? Because there are many things that whenever you throw them away, they would decompose and become part of the soil. We've heard this even with human beings, that once you die, that's why they say from dust to dust, from ashes to ashes. I'm sure you've heard that at some point, our skins, our flesh is going to dissolve and become part of the soil. So is it going to be the same with Isikumba accessories, or they are going to be a danger to the environment? So you need to understand that whether they're going to be recycled, whether they are going to be burned. For example, when you are using batteries, they say do not throw it into a fire because it might cause explosion, and its smoke might damage the ecosystem. So you need to think about all that as a brand. So your packaging must also include the way that package is going to be discarded once its use is no longer relevant. It is very crucial. And how you package that product. Is it easy to assemble? Is it easy to unwrap? Because there are some products out there that when you receive them without a knife, you can't open them. Without a sharp object, you cannot open them. And some without an opener, you cannot open them. For example, the way tinned food are packaged nowadays, some do not require an opener at all, a tin opener. You just pull that top lid, it's open. You don't need a knife, you do not need anything. And there are still some tinned food whereby when you want to open them to use the product, you need a knife, you need a tin opener, you need a sharp object or whatever it is. So you also need to understand when you are packaging these products, whether it's going to be easy to unwrap or unpack them, or it's going to be very difficult. These are crucial elements because some things are very difficult to even unpack. And you do not want your consumers, your end users to be frustrated to get to that product. Because if they do so, it means that they won't be loyal to your product. They'll be like, I won't buy this anymore because I struggle to open it. It takes longer to open it. I have to use my teeth. I have to use my fingers and I broke my nail. And all those sorts of things that we do come across on a daily basis whenever we are unpacking a product. Some products may also require assembling. Is it easy to assemble? If it's a handbag, it might come with strings or the holders detached from it. Is it going to be easy to attach the string or the handles to the bag? So you need to understand all these elements. In conclusion, these revisions clearly examines how packaging contributes to effective brand management and integrated marketing communications. Packaging protects products, improves convenience, communicates brand identity. And I've mentioned all these in this lesson. Packaging also attracts consumer attention at the point of purchase, because the way a product is packaged also leaves a mark about the brand. So this is very, very crucial. I'm not going to talk about labels in this lesson because labeling comes in the next lesson. And I'm not going to talk about ethical considerations because we are going to discuss ethical considerations tomorrow on Tuesday. So today in lesson 37, we have already discussed packaging. And in the next lesson, we will be discussing labeling. So I'm going to have the same lesson, but we'll be revising the second part of the lesson, which is labeling. And if there are any questions, if there are any comments, if there are any ideas related to this lesson, please do not hesitate to provide these questions, ideas, and comments in available discussion forums, be it on WhatsApp group or on core campus discussion forum. So let's meet again as I take you through the revision on labeling. Thank you.